Hello everybody, welcome to the Eternal Spoiler Breakdown. My name is Pojo, and we are live, ready to rock and roll with some Javan the Steel Crest, the new promo for the month of May. And if there was a slight pause there, it's because COVID time is very weird, and I wasn't entirely certain what month it was. So we have a new promo card coming out right on the heels of Eternal Revelations, and assumably it's going to be a card that fits in with that particular set. We're going to take a look at it today and just talk a little bit about what it does and where its strengths lie. This is a pretty exciting one. It's a decent power card, or a decent engine, I guess would be the way that I would describe it. This is a 3-cost 3/3 warrior called Javan the Steel Crest. Pay 4 to draw a card. If it's a unit with cost 4 or less, you get to play that card. And when Javan attacks, each unit you played this turn gets +1/+1. And that could be Javan or any number of other pronunciations, but I'm going to go with Javan for now until we know for sure. In any case, 3-cost 3/3, pay 4 to draw, which is already like a pretty straightforward, great ability to have on a time card. First off, this card is well statted for a 3-cost. 3/3 is just kind of the baseline value that you want to have, especially when you get extra text on top of that, and especially when that extra text is really, really strong. Javan's ability is just basically that it gets you extra cards every time that you sink power into it, which means if this card is out on your board, it is going to be a problem. It has to be dealt with, and if it isn't dealt with, then you're just going to always be the person with more cards than your opponent. Once you're in the 8 to 9 power range, this card is drawing you 2 cards a turn. The fact that it plays units with cost 4 or less means that you get some serious benefits out of it if you are playing any type of tempo deck, any type of mid-range stranger type thing. This thing plays like a Sandstorm Titan when you pay 4 for it, which is, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a very, very strong option that actually gets you a lot of benefits straight off the bat. Really, really strong engine ability, and then also has the when Javan attacks ability. Each unit you played this turn gets +1/+1. Which is already pretty okay if you're paying 4 to get a card and play it. If you are playing even with like a bunch of Grenadin or tokens or anything along those lines, you're getting pretty decent value out of Javan's ability there. This is something where you basically get to do some ridiculous nonsense. The card is just like... I think basically this card covers a lot of different angles. If you want to play aggressive with it and play a lot of small units, then this is something where this card will consistently buff those small units in a way that is going to be relatively beneficial for tempos. So it seems pretty good in those types of decks, and if you're playing like mostly cheap stuff, playing something pretty like simple and aggressive, the card fits you pretty well because A, it gives you all of that extra bonus, B, it's a pretty strong attacker and defender, and C, it has the ability to power sync later on to get more of those cheap units and get you everything that you want going on. If you can do stuff like peek at the top of your deck, there aren't that many cards that actually do that, but if you know from crests or from, say, like the sneaky like 4-drop 2/5 that's got ambush, that you can... If you can see the top card of your deck from like a warp or anything along those lines, then Javan's ability is a lot better because you can just pay 4 and get the card out and very much guarantee that you're going to play the card for tempo. Paying 4 is obviously not a tempo thing if you are like trying to actually put stuff on the board, so it is always card advantage and it's pretty beneficial, but this is just a crazy effect. It is something that I don't think that many other cards have access to. It's very rarely printed on units, and being able to draw a lot of cards off of a unit is just something that you don't see very often and is actually just really, really super beneficial. This card is really just overall strong. There's way too much going on with it that's good. Has really good stat lines, is aggressive, and gets the card draw and does some pretty crazy stuff. It may be completely insane. We will certainly see. So this card comes in a deck list. That is the Javan's Purpose deck, which you can see some of here. It's not too great, but it comes with 4 copies of the promo card. You can also, of course, get access to the promo card by winning a game in any sort of mode. just once per day for the next week. So the card is free, available for everyone. It also comes with this little precon deck, which I don't think has too many cards in it that are particularly efficient with the Javan, but do have some small little bonuses. One thing to note is that Blitzstone actually does have some great synergy with this card, both because it allows the card to buff itself. If you give it charge with Blitzstone, then it becomes a 4/3, and then it attacks in as a 5/4, which is a pretty reasonable stat line for an early 3-drop, particularly when that 3-drop is now buffing the rest of your board as you play down 4-drops over the course of the game. So if you're playing like a time warrior-based strategy, you get to do some pretty cool stuff. And there are, in fact, some pretty good 4-cost legendaries that do a lot of work in time already that are going to be really pushing you. For example, you've got the Throne deck, which is just going to be like very strong with Sandstorm Titan and anything along those lines. There's plenty of like things that in the time 4 slot that generally kind of compete for that sort of aspect. So if you want to play soldiers, things along those lines, that's definitely something that gets you quite a bit of strength. And stacking your deck with 4-drops is pretty likely to be an important strategy here if you're going to be running multiple cards with Javan. One other thing to note is like Kanya Ironthorn Envoy, 4-cost 4/4, says summon when one of your this card is just like really, really strong with Javan because it plays off of the card, it gets the +1/+1 bonus, and then it also gives you just it gives you a reason to attack as well. So these two cards synergize together really well. They're kind of bread and butter for a warrior soldier deck. And if you're looking for like a time mid-range or a time aggro deck, one that either tops at Kanya or uses Kanya to supplement a number of other 4-drops for Javan, allows you to basically get a very, very significant value engine going or get a more aggressive base going that then plays Kanya for free sometimes and gets you that extra little bit of benefit. So yeah, all of these cards together tend to mean that you have a deck archetype that is generally about pressing with large amounts of aggressive soldiers and warriors, and I think that that's something that should really fit well in the Eternal meta for the time being. Obviously, this card's not available in draft. If it were, it would be pretty bonkers. I think the pay 4 ability is one of the stronger abilities that we've seen printed on a 3-drop. So, like, as far as like power level, this card is probably an A. It's likely an A+. It's just a really, really strong card that actually just pushes an archetype and makes it so that everything is really, really good for your time decks for the time being. So thanks to Direwolf for pushing this out as a promo card, not as one of the legendaries of the set, because it's pretty cool to see this as a free version that you can pick up for any time deck that you like. So yeah, get out and play some games, get your copies of Javan, and have a lovely time with the card. It's going to be pretty insane, and I think that overall this card like really doesn't seem to have a lot of drawbacks, so pretty into it overall. It's just a strong little piece of tech that does excellent stuff, both on the aggro field and on the mid-range field. This is a must-remove card. This is a card that does awesome things for your deck when you are attacking with it. Being able to attack with it multiple times is clearly the primary goal for this deck, but by and large, if you're just sitting there and paying for it to draw cards, you're really not that unhappy with it. So really, really strong card, and looking forward to seeing some games with it. All right, that's it for us. We'll be back with some legendary breakdowns over the course of the week, so we should have daily videos this week, and I'm going to keep trying for daily videos Monday through Friday. Our schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams at 7 p.m. PST until whenever we're done, which is usually at least 3 hours. Sometimes much later. We've been doing Eternal and a little bit of Sunless Skies, so tune in at twitch.tv/LocalPojo, and you can also find me here on YouTube and on Patreon and Twitter. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Cheers!